Greetings, party people. This is Jasen Loveland from the J Space. Today I wanted to talk about how to apply grooves to audio clips in Ableton and how to properly extract them from audio clips. It's really, those are the two features that are the only reason I still use Ableton as opposed to Bitwig, and I think they're amazing. Although a lot of people think they're gimmicks, and rightly so, because I don't think Ableton or any of the real tutorials online explain some of the finer points to really make the technology seem as useful as it could be. So I'm going to just start. This is just a 808 loop. Turn it up here. Just a basic kind of machine funk. Boom, 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 boom. And then to apply a groove to it, you can go to your groove pool or whatnot, or down here where it says, hold on. Yes, where it says groove. And then, you could pick whatever and apply it to it. These are some grooves that I have already made, so I'm going to try it out. And you'll see that this is very important here. Normally the default looks something like this, where it says preserve transients. This is forwards and backwards, and the envelope is set to 100. So if I put a groove on it. Now if I listen to the clip, all right, it's shuffling a little bit, so that's shuffled. No shuffle. Shuffle. Nah, that's a 909 shuffle pattern. It should be a lot more dramatic. So what the deal is here is you have to tell it to preserve, to arbitrarily chop the sample loop up into 16th notes. You have to set it to one shot, which is the first, and then you can play with this later. But watch. Now listen to it. There we go. So that's no shuffle. That's with the groove. So the key is you need to play around with these settings, and this is a very useful feature of Ableton where you can do 16th notes, 8th notes, quarter notes, whatever, 30-second notes. When you get up into 30-second notes, it starts to really time stretch, but you can do rhythmic time stretching where it'll shuffle the grains based on a groove. And then I'll show you what it sounds like when you play. This is the envelope for each grain of sound. So that's fully open. And as you reduce it, it becomes truncated. So it's kind of bippity now. So this is also just a really useful little slider for truncating drums, taking rides out of patterns and things like that. And then once you have this to 16th notes, one shot, and usually I put it about 75, you can flip through the different grooves. So and find one that you like. This groove is from the Think Break, it takes two to make a thing alright, it takes two to make it out of sight, that one. And I'll show you how I made it here in a second. So this is the song. I will expand it. And with the groove extraction tool that you can get to by just right-clicking, and it says extract groove, it doesn't really work to just import an audio file and say, yo, get that groove out of there. It's I think Ableton kind of sold the feature as being that intelligent, but it's really not. You have to isolate to about a 1 or 2 bar loop the exact portion that you want to take the groove out of, and then you have to consolidate the clip, and then you can take the groove out. And sometimes you have to increase the contrast between the peaks with the compressor so it finds all the beats. It's not as seamless as it sounds, but it's also not that hard. So let's do it. I'm gonna get rid of this. So this is Think, and I think I have it around the famous break. All right. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click and go into the transient view. I'm going to set my start point at that kick drum. I'm going to shorten this to just 1 bar. So I'm going to loop that just so we can listen to it, make sure it loops okay. Nice. All right. So then you right click on the clip and consolidate. Go down to consolidate. So that'll forget that it's attached to the rest of the clip. Then you can right click and hit extract grooves, and it'll think for a minute. And it'll show up over here. And then, so if I want our little 808 part that we were playing with to shuffle like the think break, I can go back up here and go back down to our menu and pick James Brown, Think About It. And let's listen to it. Let's see if it works. Sounds like it's shuffling. So now it's kind of bumping like the tambourine. And then to check, you can always layer the original groove under it and see if it's like flammy. Yeah. Now we're in kind of like Baltimore club territory. But anyway, that's a quick view of a really powerful feature of Ableton that I think a lot of people think is a gimmick. And I think it's partially Ableton's fault that people think it's a gimmick. But this allows you to throw the groove on really any kind of audio clip once you start manipulating with the transient locations. What it also will allow you to do is, like, you can shuffle pads, you can shuffle huge chunks of sound, you can shuffle whole tracks this way and impart a really cool kind of funky flavor. Anyway, that's just a quick little video. So thanks again for watching. This is Jasen Loveland with the Loveland Institute. I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.